So good morning. So a lot of new innovations which are coming actually at the right time. And therefore, we should focus a couple of minutes on business opportunity from our understanding, from a market figures perspective, understanding we are at the dawn of a new demand cycle. 4 topics for this early morning time. Let's look on high-tech markets in 2013. And there is one basic message: the developed markets, the developed countries are coming back. So we will face an elementary change, and this is starting in 2013. Then let's do a focus on computing and tablets. We are moving then into multiple strategies, a few aspects about these multiple displays and multiple channel strategies. And then last but not least, a short outlook. High-tech markets, 2013. We are now in the second year of a transition period, and this is why a lot of things are changing currently. Let's look on channels first. We are seeing currently, and we are expecting that this is going on, a concentration within sales channels and within distribution. You see it out of mergers, but you see it channel by channel, that the bigger ones are getting bigger and the smaller ones are somehow getting lost. Especially on e-commerce, a lot of these web pages are simply not known to the majority of people and customers any longer. We are seeing slowly that qualitative aspects are becoming more important, and they are starting to dominate quantitative aspects. Just imagine it's great to have a first notebook. It's great even to buy a second and third one after a couple of years. But when you are right now buying your 4th or your 5th notebook, you want to have the notebook which is fitting to all your needs. So the customers on the B2B side as well as on the B2C side are becoming more selective. And of course, distribution is getting more selective. Why? Also, the distribution scene is facing a huge challenge in terms of competition, and therefore we are expecting that the bigger distributors are becoming quite aggressive in whatever regions they are active. And of course, in Western Europe, it's a quite saturated and divided market, so we are expecting a lot of things to come up in Central and Eastern Europe. If we're looking on customers, we are seeing currently a slowing down of trial and replacement effects. A lot of consumers did try and find out a lot of things, so they were buying products, they were going on one or the other cloud service. It's slowing down, people are getting used to it, and some things are good, some things are not so good. So they are deciding what to use. And of course, on B2B, we are still very close to a Windows 7 replacement cycle. So in 2013, we are not expecting any major impact there. And of course, experienced users are looking for innovation. Therefore, innovations are becoming much more important. And also, as you saw it in all this presentation, it's a combination of technology, design, and lifestyle. And this is true for retail markets, of course, but also the small and medium enterprise market is following more and more this trend. Why? Usage behavior is becoming much more individual, and usage is starting to dominate technology. And from a technology perspective, thanks to Windows 8 and all the things which are coming right now, this app-style user interface will spread across all the different devices, from smartphones to tablets to computers to TVs. So this will give us a huge opportunity in providing a lot of new services. And of course, we will see a lot of new form factors which are changing also the peripheral industry, because for new form factors, you need new peripherals, and miniaturization is making a lot of things working more easily in a lot of places where we were not even thinking about a couple of years ago to work with such kind of devices. This means after 2012, where the global technology spending and the global technology market was facing a slowing down by -1%, we are currently expecting that 2013 is becoming positive again, a robust one-digit growth of around about +4, +5%. We are a bit conservative here, so if we are a bit lucky, it's getting even better. If we are looking by region, first have a look on 2012. Of course, the world was, in terms of technology, -1 negative. But you see, especially Western Europe, especially developed Asian countries and Latin America were showing a very, very negative demand in 2012. 2013, it's changing. It's a big question mark about Western Europe. We are a bit conservative currently here. But if you are just looking on information technology, also information technology, especially on small and medium enterprise and on consumer side, is expected to be positive. So this -1 is coming from a B2B side, where we are too close to the last replacement cycle. And what you are seeing here as well, also developed markets are coming back, and also developed markets are starting to lead with a lot of things. So we did here during the last couple of years emerging markets, and of course this was right, because penetration rate was low, because there have been a lot of opportunities moving into new technology. But nowadays, if you're looking on new innovations are often sold at a slightly higher price point. Touch products are a couple of euros or dollars more expensive. And also other nice products are a bit more expensive, like ultra-thin. And therefore, countries with high purchase power, countries with a robust industry situation, with a robust economic situation, are expected to lead the growth. And for Europe, you see here two lines over a very long period of time. It's going back to 1997. It's in red how consumers feeling, consumer sentiments. The European Union is asking thousands of people across all the different countries, and in this light green business sentiments. And you see on the very right side, the last couple of months, we are at some kind of turning point, and we are expecting that these lines are staying stable or becoming even slightly more positive. So we have also across the European Union countries a very good basis for a good year or a better year in relation to 2012. If you're looking on purchase intention and purchase plans, so what consumers are intending to spend within the next 3 to 5 months, also these two lines are becoming more stable, or they are also at a turning point. So this is basically confirming that we are in a very robust status, and we could probably expect in a lot of areas a by far better market development than in 2012. This means, if you're looking on a typical market life cycle, you find this picture in every marketing book, wherever you are looking. We are beyond this first market hype, and of course, 2012 was going down, and now 2013, the second year of transition, we are seeing these markets are coming back. Why? We have a lot of technology we are knowing. External HDD, it was B2B replacement, we have monitors, we have mobile phones, we have traditional computers. These are still responsible for a lot of volume, but these markets, as it was showing in 2012, are becoming quite tricky in terms of generating additional growth. And on the other side, we have a lot of new innovations. The ones you did see here a couple of minutes ago, plus ultra-thin, Windows 8, borderless display, software as a service, SSD, media tablets, cloud service. And all these new innovations are growing, but the volume of a lot of these new innovations was in 2012 basically too small. So we were not able to balance this slowing down or the decline of the existing long-established volume markets. And this is slowly changing in 2013. It's starting now, and it's also expected to change, of course, in the next couple of years. And therefore, we are quite optimistic currently. This means in most of the countries, markets are at a turning point right now. We are expecting further concentration, and distribution is also becoming more selective. We are facing still a challenging B2B demand, especially on large enterprise side across our region. And therefore, the existing technology plus the new technology is needed for additional growth. And the positive market expectations are mainly coming from developed countries for 2013. So we will have and we will see a complete change of paradigm. You should think about how you want to deal with it and how you want to manage it. Let's look on computing and tablets. One of the big topics. We have basically alternating replacement cycles. Just look first on B2B. You see on the very top in orange media tablets, and in yellow it's netbooks, then this small green line ultra thin, then this bigger green area 14, 15-inch portable, 17, 19-inch portable, this light blue all-in-one desktop computer, and this dark blue desktop computer. So the B2B markets are still in Western Europe, in EMEA, in a very conservative mode. There is a lot of B2B which is still focusing on the desktop computer. So for all these kind of new generations of tablets, it's a huge opportunity as soon as you have a complete operating system on this product. On the other side, retail. You see retail is leading the race for innovations. This is basically what the word consumerization is saying. The consumers are meanwhile adopting technology by far faster than any B2B company. 36% for tablets, and you see on the other side in this dark blue, the desktop computer share is already down to 9%. So if you're comparing both markets, the B2B market is probably back in terms of development around about 3 to 5 years. This means what we are seeing currently on the consumer market will take place in 3 to 4 years, also in the EMEA B2B market. Let's focus on B2B. Is it a very consistent EMEA market? So B2B form factor shares in Western Europe, and then in the middle in Central Europe, Poland, Hungary, Romania, Bulgaria, all these countries, and then CIS, Russia, Ukraine, Kazakhstan. And you see also that the B2B market in terms of form factor share is region by region very different. Western Europe, tablets are starting with 12% on B2B, whereas in CEE and CIS it's still with 6 and 5%. But you see the CEE market is clearly showing a more small and medium business-like tendency. So you have here already close to 50% on 14 to 15-inch portables, whereas the CIS B2B market, you have still 57% of desktop computers. This means peripherals, monitor market, software, communication infrastructure has to follow this basic form factor demand. It's changing currently, but you see that especially in CEE, the market is moving currently the fastest, coming closest to the retail market across Europe. So consumers are trendsetters. They are, in terms of innovation, 3, 4, 5 years ahead. B2B is still focusing on desktop computer, and this is creating a huge opportunity for all-in-one computers, especially in Western Europe and CIS. So we're seeing a clear intention and expectation for replacing the current desktop and monitor with a touchscreen all-in-one within the next couple of years. CIS B2B demand is more driven by large enterprise-like behavior, so they are by far stronger focusing on desktops, whereas in CEE, the B2B market is following a clear SMB market structure or SMB-like behavior. And in Western European markets, B2B is the most challenging part. Currently, we are too close to a Windows 7 replacement wave, so therefore we are not expecting that these Western European B2B markets are picking up in 2013. This leads to a quite normal question: multi-channel strategy, omni-channel strategy. You are finding a lot of words for it. On one side, it's not really worth talking about because it's just reality. Whether you talk about it or whether you not talk about it, it's there. It's a question how you are able to combine the different sales channels. So just look on computing and office. And on computing, you see on the top, 16% of the market is done with large enterprise, so big system houses, big dealers, big VARs. And we have 13% on small and medium enterprise, small system houses, VARs. 21% IT specialists, computer shops, 38% generalists, these big technical superstores, and 13% online. And you see 2012 in comparison to 2009, these big technical superstores are still staying. Yes, a lot of consumers are really want to see and to have a real product experience, and therefore this channel has still a certain USP which is worth to maintain On the other side, e-commerce is starting, of course. It's now 13%, but we are seeing in a couple of countries that e-commerce is peaking currently. Therefore, a lot of challenges will come out of the e-commerce channel in 2013. And B2B, in comparison to 2006, this large enterprise segment is declining from a share perspective from 21 to 16. Also, the SMB share is declining from 22 to 13. And SMB is becoming more consumer-like out of consumerization. So this big enterprise market is somehow becoming niche. A profitable niche, but more niche in relation to the rest of the market. It's similar to office. And you see here these specialists are office specialists. So out of all these new kind of printing services, there is still a lot of need for consultancy for services. And therefore, these specialist channel is still doing 80% of all the revenue, 38% of all the revenue. The system house, SME, and large enterprise channel are doing a similar share like on computing. This means also here the different channels are just existing in parallel. And if you're moving on the very left side to peripherals, mice, keyboards, webcams, you see the same picture again. That the channels are simply existing, and that the channels are existing in parallel. And also here, over this long-term analysis, nothing is vanishing or nothing is really coming to a level where you can say you can no longer take care about it. This means channels are existing in parallel. Each channel has to maintain its USP. And the big question is how to use the different channels with their individual USP. This means a channel needs a clear USP. Online is convenient. Small specialists are often caring and doing service. All these big technical superstores are often having a huge product experience, and you can see the products. And on the other side, the B2B channel is still here taking care about all professional services. Your products have to fit into the channel and to have to make the most benefit out of the individual channel USP. Online channels, as mentioned, have partly peaked. They are expected to become a bit more challenging in 2013. And of course, distribution will face a more and more roller coaster demand. So we are expecting also that seasonality is becoming, in a lot of countries and regions, much stronger out of innovation cycles and out of a not really predictive purchase behavior. There is a lot of discussion about showrooming, and often showrooming is in a certain negative consent. Showrooming is, from our understanding, something positive. You can use showrooming for presenting your products for a huge number of customers. You have to find a strategy with your retailers who are doing this showrooming, which sometimes are not happy, that it's still beneficial for them, and that there are still customers there which are buying the product, which is often the case. Just one example, take all these nice tablets. You saw a couple of them here in this presentation. You can say, okay, it's a product everybody is knowing. It's a typical product for online channels, right? But in the last year's end business, these technical superstores were growing faster than all the other channels. Why? A lot of people just want to see the nice product, just want to test the nice product, whether the color is really fitting, whether it's really convenient. And a lot of new innovations are related to design, are related to haptic. So these traditional channels are having a certain strength, and therefore it's a question of cross-channel optimization and not any longer a question whether you want to work with a channel or not. Another aspect, multiple display. Of course, also this is something you hear a lot about, you can read a lot about, and there is one basic reason behind. Displays are simply the window into the cloud. Without a display, it's quite difficult to get access. And of course, there are two opportunities. On one side, it's breadth of products. We can talk about TVs, we can talk about whatever kind of product, but it's also the depth of your product range. And here, a very simple example. Just look here on display products. You see on the top, all-in-one computers, on a global level 3%, then you have mobile computer 51%. Meanwhile, media tablets 20%. These small picture frames, they are still existing 1%. Multifunctional monitors 3% and monitors 23%. And you see, wherever you are looking into EMEA, the share of the different display products is completely different. And this is quite relevant for market success. Of course, if you're making this kind of products, then you have a certain market potential, or if you're doing a lot of these products, like all the big OEMs are doing, then you are targeting the whole market. But this is also becoming very important for all kind of peripheral markets, because this is basically changing the installed base dramatically. And consumers, as well as companies, are looking for choice, are looking for ease and freedom of use. So we are expecting that this landscape is becoming even more complex. Also, just one example, if you're looking again on tablets, the most growing segments are currently tablets below 8-inch. And this segment is currently growing 4 or 5 times larger than tablets above 8-inch. So we need to learn to set our course by the stars and not by the lights of every passing ship. In the last 5 minutes, a few aspects about 2013, what we are expecting. So on one side, we are seeing a very ubiquitous usage of lifestyle-oriented high-tech gadgets. Lifestyle is important, technology is important, design is important, and how it's communicated to SMEs as well as to consumers. And as mentioned, SME are behaving more and more like consumers, so you have to really think about consumerization in this small and medium enterprise market. We are seeing currently a change in price perception because markets are becoming more quality-oriented. If you have a lifestyle product, if you have an image product where users want to get a certain image from, price is also a certain image indicator. And these new innovations are creating a new growth and a new volume. Therefore, we are seeing that we are currently on a turning point and we are expecting a positive and a new demand cycle. Let's start with price. Of course, everybody wants to have a good price, but there are also a couple of aspects you should think about. Price is always reflecting the real value of a product. So if you are making a certain price decrease, you have to ask yourself whether you are also decreasing the value of your product, the perceived value for its user. And customers are always creating some kind of reference price. You're looking on different products, or you're looking on different brands. This means if everybody is going down, it's basically not changing, so you have to be somehow competitive. But on the other side, if you're doing rebates also quite often, you are just creating a lower reference price, and then rebates are no longer working. And this is becoming especially in markets of a high relevance where consumers are looking into branding, into lifestyle, and to design, as well as SME companies. So branding is a trust and confidence in quality, we are all knowing, but branding is also a trust and confidence in price. This means markets of today, which are stable, which are slowing down, which are characterized by replacement cycles, are asking for a stable pricing, much more than in the past, and they are asking for reasonable pricing arguments. And this is especially true in countries with high purchase power, where a lot of innovations are starting to get off earlier. Also here an example, just imagine you are buying a very nice jewelry for your wife, for your girlfriend, for whomever, and you are seeing the next day the same jewelry, or your wife, your girlfriend is seeing the same jewelry discounted with 50%. Then of course it's still a value, but the next day with 50% discount in some advertisement, the value of the present is also dramatically declining. And such kind of effects are becoming more and more reality also within our technology. And of course we have this digital information and we have individualization. Consumers, companies, working people, we all together, we will have a certain need for individualization. So you have to look on which usage scenarios your product is fitting to, and also which peripherals are needed for some kind of usage scenarios. These stands or this keyboard for tablets are just one example. Or on the other side, if you look into the audio markets, you see all these nice sound boxes, sound bars, which are simply following the trend of mobile audio and mobile entertainment. This means technology plus emotion is creating new and additional sales on retail as well as on SME level. And here you can create a USP, because otherwise technology is becoming more commodity-like. To sum up, we are currently seeing a clear transformation towards growth. And this is especially true in developed markets, because a lot of innovations are sold currently at a higher price. An ultra-thin notebook is more expensive than a normal traditional one. We are expecting Windows 8 effects, positive effects, especially on retail. The only challenge currently is there are by far too less touch products available in the market. On B2B, it's taking a bit time, so we have to look for 2014 and 15. On B2B side, cloud and software as a services will give a clear positive impact on the market, whereas on the consumer side, thin and lifestyle products are creating additional demand. Multi-distribution and multi-channel is becoming a standard. You have to decide how you are using all the channels available for your product. And there is no one-size-fits-all. Whoever is telling you for a couple of products, for a couple of different things, a single multi-channel strategy is working in a country, across countries, across region. It's not. So you need a multi-channel strategy which is adopted to the country and to your product. Consumerization will go on. As you were seeing, the consumer market in terms of this form factor demand is in comparison to B2B 3 to 4 to 5 years ahead. SME markets are getting closer, and enterprise markets are still staying behind. There is a lot of discussion about this bring your own device in. Yes, it's a nice story, but we are not expecting that this is becoming of real relevance in all EMEA market. As mentioned, it's a movement into quality, into image, so you have to take care about pricing, and we are seeing clear positive market expectations. So we are expecting for information technology about EMEA a positive one-digit growth, on SME and retail higher as on B2B, large enterprise, and also these computing markets are coming back as soon as enough touch products are available. So the difference between the almost right word and the right word is really a large matter. It's a difference between the lightning bug and the real lightning. And I wish you a lot of success and luck finding the real right thing to do for your products and for your strategies. Thank you.